Bonsoir à tous et bienvenue dans votre nouvelle émission You Say It. Aujourd'hui, j'ai le plaisir de recevoir Edsel Monson, qui est acteur dans le film 100% local Here Comes the Groom, qui est actuellement en production. On regarde tout de suite un extrait.
You think women have it hard when it comes to finding love on this small island?
Oh, you good?
Well, we men have an even tougher time trying to please them,
Hey!
let alone understanding them. And I gotta listen to these guys?
You gotta give and take, right?
It's not like I can just place an ad in the local newspaper. I gotta be selective, sift through the ladies. I gotta keep my eyes open for the crazies, you know? It's psychotic. Not forgetting the women who just don't know how or wanna be happy. Is it so hard to believe that I just wanna be loved? Maybe I shouldn't go through with this. Maybe this wasn't such a good idea. Lord, take the wheel. I'm gonna need help on this one.
Bonjour Edsel.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for being here with us. I would just like to start talking about your movie, Here Comes the Groom, that's actually in production. Can you tell me more about this movie?
Yeah, the movie is it's a romance comedy, actually a comedic drama. It's based on a Caribbean man trying to find love, or his understanding of love. And basically, as he tries to find love, his friends try to get him to find love in their way, or what they would consider love. So he goes through all these different ways of finding love, basically, and the audience gets a chance to see that, experience that with him.
Do you feel close to that character? How was it to be in Chris' skin?
Well, I mean, I think there's a bit of Chris in a lot of us. He is okay. He's smart. He's a bit nerdy. He's also successful. There's other things about him, which is he has a bit of an uncertainty to him when it comes to relationships. I mean, I think all of us man and woman can relate to that as far as uncertainty goes. He is an interesting character to play, but for me, even though I can relate to him, I don't find myself like him too much. As far as he is easily, not quite easily, but he's pulled in by his friends often to do things that maybe isn't in his best interest, you know? So even though I can relate to the character somewhat, and I think we all could relate to that character, I don't see myself too close to Chris in real life.
How did you end up getting the first role for this movie, to be the main character?
Okay, well, this isn't the first time that some of us has worked together for this production. Actually, this production started in 2016. What happened was it was originally supposed to be a series. And so there were auditions for the part. So we went in, a few of us went in. I remember my cousin and we went in, we auditioned and whatnot, and I got the call saying that I got the part of Chris, right? So that started in 2016, and as I said, it was supposed to be a series. At that moment, it didn't pan out the way we wanted it to. Now that character is slightly different than the character I'm playing, so I had to readjust to the character now.
So what's your background? How are you an actor? Like, did you do anything as acting, or like you just like it and you just got into it?
Well, it's interesting because My background is actually in writing music,
Okay.
producing music, and as far as when the arts goes, right?
Still creative.
As far as the creative arts goes, when it comes to that, I like to write and produce. I remember though, I remember that I didn't have a lot of facial expressions.
Yeah.
Like, so I was really stoic, right?
Yeah.
So at some point, I started to practice my facial expressions because it's important, because people, that's how, you know, we relate to each other, right?
Of course.
Certain little facial expressions that
Yeah.
we make, right?
Yeah.
So that is something that I practice as well, because I think that the way you feel should sometimes, or most of the time, show on your face, right?
Yeah.
So with that helped me to be, I would say, when I'm playing a character, to be able to do facial expressions and those type of stuff and have more emotion in whatever role I would like to put in. So I basically took up acting because it seemed interesting to me. It always seemed interesting to me. You know, especially when you watch some of these actors play out some of these amazing roles and in the movies, it's like, wow, that is great. So it's kind of therapeutic.
To be able to be like two person at once, like yourself and the character, you have to be a little crazy to do that, no? Don't you think?
Well, I think that you need to separate yourself from the character you play.
Yeah.
So when you're ready to become that character, you jump into that.
Yeah.
But as far as being crazy.
And that was maybe too far, but
No, well,
see
look,
what I mean?
no, but look, like for instance, you have Joaquin Phoenix, who's about to who played the Joker, and that movie's about to come out also, right? And you know, I'm sure that when you have to go into being such a dark character, you do have to change a lot about yourself. Fortunately for the character I'm playing, he's kind of like a regular guy, you know what I mean? Yeah, sure, he has these little irks about him and these things about him, but basically, you know, he can be anyone walking down the street, you know what I mean? So I think that that makes it a little more simple.
So without revealing too much about the movie, can you tell me how it goes for Chris to find love? Like, how is he going through this to find love?
Well, he's going through, there's a series of stuff that he's going to be going through. So he's going to, and each of them are related to his individual friends, right? So he has several friends, Terry, Leo, Dimitri, Greg. Greg is his best friend, and I think that he's the worst influence on him. But
do you think it's often like this? Is it in real life? Isn't it like this, kind of like to have friends trying to get in between with your relationship, giving you too many advices and?
Yeah, I think that many times we're always looking for the answers, right? And it's easier to say that our friends or someone close to us would have the answer, and sometimes we prefer taking, maybe not even initially, but after a while we prefer taking their advice, because sometimes we don't know which way to go and how to come about finding the relationship that we want, right? Yeah. So I think that it is definitely, there's a point to that. And in real life, just like Chris, maybe we shouldn't always take that advice, you know? So yeah, he goes through all of these different ways of finding love, and they really don't connect with true love. Yeah. So
yeah, it's more about like how your friends or the people around you see your relationship than you living your actual relationship or trying to find the good one.
Yeah, well, the thing is with people, they is from their perspective, right? So if when someone looks at you and your relationship, that's only what they see, opposed to everything that you actually are. You know, so it's always people are looking from their perspective. So with the character, I think that's what happens, is that even though we can say that we understand an individual, from that standpoint, they see Chris how they believe they should see Chris. And as such, they bring him over into what they believe is good for him, which may be what they're used to, you know? So yeah, I mean, we have that in our lives on a regular, so.
Of course. Do you think we have a lot of pressure to find the right one in life, you know, like this love, the love relationship, how, you know, like how it's pictured like in the movies or in our society, like every day, you know, like what do you think about this?
I think because there's a standard as far as like you said, when it comes to the movies and all those type of things, we try to live up to that. And I think that also we try to impress those around us a lot that do, how would you say, do project that. If, for instance, if they're in a relationship and they project that, oh, we're in the best relationship possible, I think that someone that's not in a relationship would say like, oh, I want that for myself. You know, I want those moments. I want, you know, so regardless, I mean, in the movies or even in real life, I think that there is pressure, you know, because we don't want to feel like the odd one. We don't want to feel like we are left out, like there's something wrong with us. So we will, you know, in general, we'll pursue that. We'll pursue that drop of perfection, right? So, and it's the same thing with Chris. He wants that real love. He wants that drop of perfection that everyone is able to hold on. Well, people project that they can hold on to and you know, make it their own, right? So love to me is it's more than just one fuzzy feeling. It's consistency, it's long term, it's you know, it has a lot to do with beyond the glitter and all that stuff, you know. So I think at that moment in the character, I think he's looking, I think he is looking for some of those things. A key difference right there between me and the character I'm playing, Chris, is that he is actively pursuing love. He is actively pursuing his perception of love, right? Because we all have our different perceptions. But like you said, maybe he wants to live up to like the standards of
what society wants us to be, how, you know.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's also part of what that character wants.
Yeah. What's the difficulty of producing a movie here in Saint-Martin, Saint-Martin, when we are not so used to have that kind of productions locally, you know? So what's the challenge of being part of, you know, like wanting to make this project happen?
Well, I think one of the largest challenges is funds. So we're diligently working on that. So like we have ways to fundraisers and so forth, like barbecues, those type of things. So we sell tickets. If people give donations, that's also great. I believe the foundation, Prince Bernard Cultural Foundation, they've donated a significant amount to the project, to the movie project. So we are doing the best we can in order to push the production and make sure that we cover all costs. And so that's one of the challenges. And you know what's so great about this movie as well is that it being a local production, we're able to highlight a lot of the sites and stuff on
Yeah.
the island as well, you know, so like the different places, and that's great,
Yeah.
you know, that's great. And being that we're such a multicultural society, that also, you know, that's also featured in the movie.
It shows in the movie.
It shows in the movie.
Of course. Okay, well, thank you so much for being with us today and participating to that new show, You Say It. I wish you the very best for this movie and I can't wait to see it.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Merci à tous d'avoir regardé cette émission You Say It. On se retrouve bientôt pour un nouvel épisode.